right, everybody, today we're doing keys, tonalities, and finger trails. In case you've ever been watching someone play the piano and it just seems like, they're picking random notes. There's some white notes, some black notes in there. Or if you've ever been listening to a song on the radio and you're like trying to pick out the notes and it just seems like, yeah, I got 88 keys to choose from here. Like, how am I supposed to know which ones are the right ones to use? Well, today I'm going to help you narrow down your focus so you've got just a small set of notes that you know are going to fit in to whatever song you're trying to play or whoever you're trying to copy. So when you're trying to copy someone who's playing, the first thing you need to know is what key are they in, or what's the tonality. So a key or a tonality is just an agreement between the performer and the audience about what notes are the right notes to use and which notes are the wrong notes to use. So if I played, some little, let's see, something like that, right? I've kind of got an agreement now between myself and you that this note sounds great. In fact, all the white notes, those are all great notes to use. This one right here, terrible. If I play that note, it's gonna sound wrong, right? Let me play the same exact song for you in a different key or a different tonality. It would sound something like this. So now, even though it's the exact same song, sounds like the same little ditty, that note that sounded so terrible before sounds great. And all the note that sounded so great before sounds wrong, right? It's because I have a new agreement with myself and the audience that these notes are the right notes to use, and that these other notes, let's see here, they'd be like those notes right there are all the wrong notes now because I'm in a new key or a new tonality, the key of F sharp. So this is very closely related to scales too, major and minor scales, if you've seen that lesson. So anyway, so that's basically what a key or a tonality is. Each one has 7 notes in it. So there's a couple of different ways of going about figuring all of the notes out, but let me just give them to you here. There's 12 different possibilities. There's the tonality that starts on C, and it's got all of these notes here, right there, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And you can see here on the chart here that this key right here, those are the 7 notes that you would use if you were in the key of C. So C is the first note, number 1, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you're back to here. So you can play any song then in that key. So if I played like, that's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the key of C because this song always starts on number 1 and ends on number 1. So I started on number 1 and I ended on number 1 and I stayed inside the key, stayed inside the tonality. And so that's why this is in the key of C. Now, in general here, just kind of a side note, the 1 of the key always feels, I call it at home. It feels like the most secure. It feels like the note that you would want to end the song on. So when we're in the key of C, even though these are all right notes, the rightest note is going to be the 1 of the key, C, in the key of C. So when I was playing the song, that note right there is the one that we want to end on. So there is a difference between the 1 and the rest of them. You could find some other notes in the key, for example, that one right there, that's not going to sound great through the whole entire song. But as a group, all 7 of those notes should fit together when we're in the key of C. All right, so moving on to the next one then, the key of D flat has all of these. These are the 7 notes right here. So that's D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, and then D. And then just have, we've got 12 of them here because there's 12 different notes. So we got the key that starts on C, this one that starts on D flat, D, E flat, E, F, G flat or F sharp, G, A flat, A, B flat, and B. And at that point, we start back over at C. So that probably sounds like a lot, like there's 12 whole keys that I have to memorize, and they each have like 7 notes in them. That's impossible. Never mind, I don't want to play the piano. Well, these keys are in all instruments actually, so you'd have to like just go do art or something or sports. But on the other hand, like there's only 12, so like out of the whole 88 keys, if you do, if you learned 1 a month, you would know all of the major keys that you need to know from here until forever. It'd only take you a year. And that's going at a rate of 1 a month, right? That's giving you 30 days to memorize 7 notes. So it's doable, just don't try to do it all at once. So there's 12 keys. The next key that we haven't done yet here is the key of D. So the key of D looks a little something like this one right here. Those are your 7 notes, and it's D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and then we land back at D again. The reason there's only 7 notes here is that after those 7, you land back on the note that you started on. You're back at 1 again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and just continues on. So same thing going down. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and all the way down. So once you know one set of the notes, you kind of know it through the whole piano. So the next one's E flat. It's E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, and D, and then we're back at E flat again. The next one is E, so it's E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and then we're back at E. Then the next one here is F, so it's going to be F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. Like I said, you shouldn't be memorizing all this stuff. I'm just giving them to you so you can take them as you want. Then the next one's going to be G flat or F sharp. Same note. They're enharmonic equivalents. Same sound. So we're going to call it a G flat this time, and we're going to go G flat, A flat, B flat. We're going to call that one a C flat. It looks like just like a B, so don't worry about that. C flat or B, and then D flat, E flat. Finally, a regular note, F, and then we're back at G flat again. After that, we're looking at the key of A flat. A flat is A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, and then A flat. In the key of A, it's A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then we're back at A again. The only 2 left. Here we go. B flat is B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, and then we're back at B flat. Last one here is B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, and B. So that's all of the keys. Now that's a lot of notes to memorize, but the truth is you don't have to memorize all of those notes. In fact, I've played with several organists, pianists, keyboardists who can just play circles around me. Just incredible musicians who, they'll be playing along, they'll be playing their song. I'll be like, what key are you playing in? Because I want to play with you. And they're like, I think I'm in the key of A. I'm like, you're not even playing an A in your entire song. They just have no idea what the names of what they're doing is, but they know how to play them. That's because they're memorizing, instead of the letter names, they've just memorized all the shapes. Now, I don't recommend that at all, because obviously you can't communicate with any other musicians unless you know the common language here. So it's good to know the names of the notes. But once you use the names of the notes to figure out what the key is, at that point, for all I've ever done, you just memorize what the shape is. So, for example, the key of C, in my mind, is this thing right here. It's that shape. It's kind of bland, kind of plain. It's just, there's no landscape to it, really. There's no shape to it. It's just all white notes. So it makes it easy because you can do something like that and not hit any wrong notes, but it's kind of bland as far as, like, there's no mile markers in there to know where you are. So, for example, if we take something a little bit more colorful, like the key of D. Now, the key of D is D and E and F sharp and G and A and B and C sharp and D. But like I said, I'm not memorizing any of those letters, really. I'm memorizing this shape right here. So this thing right here, where I've got like a begin and end on a D, that's the most important note in the key, and I've got these 2 little bumps, right? So I've got a bump right here on this F sharp, and then I've got one up here on that C sharp, and then everything else is just like a valley. So I've got this little tiny valley over here, starting and ending on D, got this little tiny valley here, and I've got this bump up here, and I've got this big valley right here, and I got another bump over here. That's what I'm playing when I'm playing the key of D. I'm not thinking about all of the different letter names in there. This way I can like play inside the key, just picking like random notes and not hit any wrong notes, because the random notes that I'm playing all obey the law of this thing right here. Right, and so I don't have to now worry about hitting wrong notes. I've got my geography, my finger trail set out for me, and my fingers, as long as they stay in that trail, I'm not in danger of hitting any wrong notes. So anyway, memorize these things as finger trails and not as a set of sharps and flats. That's going to be way easier for you. Then once you've spent your year or however long you decide to take memorizing your keys and memorizing the shape of them, the geography, learning your finger trails through them so that you're not accidentally hitting wrong notes, at that point you can play pretty much any song in the world in pretty much any key in the world. You've got all 12 of those keys, so you can now take that song, that we had at the beginning. So that's in the key of C. Now, if I just take those exact same notes and I just place them inside of another key, let's say the key of F, right? So we start out with 1 on the top and the bottom, and then you translate all these to different numbers. I'm playing the 5 and the 1 and the 2 and the 5 here. I can take all that to the key of F now and play. Right? Or we could take it to the key of A. Or I could take it to the key of E, or I could take it to the key of D flat, or any key you want, because now I've just got these finger trails in my mind, and I can take any song and place it in there. And that way, if you're trying to figure out what some songs playing on the radio, you're trying to figure out like what the notes are for it. First thing I do before you try to pick random notes that sound like they fit in the song is find out what key are they in. What note on here out of these 12 notes, which note really feels like home? You might want to just fast forward to the end of the song, see where they end the song. It's probably going to be the one of the key. It's probably going to be the name of the key. So if their last note in the entire song is an E, you're probably in the key of E, and you got to test it out through the rest of the song. But once you know what key you're in, well then now you've just got 7 notes to guess from. You don't have the whole 88 keys of, is that one? No, is that one? No, is that one? No, is that one? You've just got these 7 notes, and you know it's either going to be E or F sharp or G sharp or A or B or C sharp or D sharp or E if it's in the key of E. So find out the key first. That's going to be the most important thing, and then it makes all that guessing way, way easier. And if you're trying to follow along on somebody's hands while they're playing, if they're playing stuff like then it looks like I'm just picking, random black notes and white notes and mostly staying on black notes. But the truth is, once you take a look at it, you're like, all right, so what are the notes he actually used? He used that one and 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 that one. Well, that's the key of D flat, right? So now that I know what the geography is, it's much easier to follow along with someone who's playing and to be able to pick up, oh, okay, cool, so they're in the key of D flat, and then everything makes so much more sense. Of course, if you're an advanced player, this may not be how you approached scales, keys, tonalities when you were learning them. So I would love to hear your comments. Send me your videos of how you've taken this concept, used it, take it to the next level. This is not all there is to keys, scales, and tonalities. It's just kind of a general overview. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks, good luck, have fun.